book to get you back in the game. To request an appointment, visit TOA.com or call 855-NEED-TOA. Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance. TOA. Live your best life.
This is Primetime Sports, WG.
It's the Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coach's Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's on 101.9, 100.5, 1450, WGNSSports.com and Big G TV.
The Coach's Show this morning brought to you in part by Ideas Tees. They'll be happy to help fulfill all of your imprinted apparel, embroidery, and advertising specialty needs. Find out more at ideastees.com. The Dean of Boys Basketball Coaches, Barry Wortman, here this morning. Good morning, Coach.
Brian?
I call you the Dean because you were talking about, games from 20 years ago just a minute ago?
That's right. Some war stories from back in the day.
There's nothing like tournament basketball. I know you live for this time of the year, don't you?
Well, tournament basketball is so fun, and the finality of it makes it it's great. It's a lot of stress involved, but it's fun stress is what it's all about.
Yeah. Been asking the coaches this morning, now that we have gone through something for the first time, being a district tournament with 4 teams, and tonight's the first night anybody's faced elimination here in 4A. Your thoughts on having a 4-team district tournament? Does it take away any from the body of work of a regular season that lasts months when you put all that on 2 games? Is it too much? Just your thoughts on the whole thing.
Well, the TWSAA says get 4 teams to the region tournament, and they really don't care how you go about it.
Exactly.
So really, over the years, I've been a big proponent of in the tournament basketball, you lose and it should be, your season should be over. That's sort of the quality of tournament basketball. But I was a big, I even threw out some ideas to our coaches about just going straight to the region. And then as I sort of would see the enjoyment that our guys had and our ladies had, and it's what's in the best interest of our kids. I sort of flipped almost 180 in terms of it was a great experience for them, and great environment, and creates memories, and nothing like tournament basketball, even if there's not lose and go home to it. So I really changed a little bit. Just watching our kids. So I'm good with it. Ultimately, I think that it'd probably be probably 3 classifications like it was, or maybe even 2. I don't think we'd ever do that in our state, but I think that's probably the biggest thing. That great basketball state. I mean, let's face it, the Rick Ensels and the Pat Summers, people have done so much to make this game of ours so great in our state, and people have done so much. It's just a great basketball state. It's well coached, got amazing players. So just anything you could do to make the tournament as good as it can be, I think, is in the best interest of basketball and our players. And I'm for anything. But I think they'll got a great leadership in our state, and I think they'll find a look at this and be able to evaluate and sort of see what's best for the game moving forward.
It's really interesting. This is part of the reason why I asked this question. And you all were out in the hallway. You maybe didn't hear Omar talk about this, but he was going into, and I think in a meeting of all the region teams voted to have a tournament, and said, well, Barry had proposed, we play 3 times in the regular season, and let that be what seeds it. And he said, I've taken a 180, and I kind of think I like that side. But they also hosted, and so they know what went on for hosting, the financials, and all of that. So it's a really I don't think there's a wrong answer is the question.
Absolutely not. What's best for the game, and I still got a lot of the thoughts that Omar had, just for our game.
But when you get to see kids hold up a district all tournament plaque, when you get to see kids rush out onto the floor for winning district championship, those are the things you're talking about.
That's sort of where I went with it. In the spring and the summer, it's like, I don't know, man, 4-team district. When it was 18 districts and 10-team districts, that you could handle a team losing and advancing a little bit. It's still not, from my background, what I think is best for our game, but when you can sort of get your head around, hey, how do you get 4 teams to the region tournament, however you want to do that, and what's best for kids, I'm good with it.
Yeah. It's an interesting question, and I don't think there's a right or a wrong answer to that. But just freshly going through that, you did win the district tournament, and that's something that this group, when they come back in 10 years, they will get to celebrate together, and maybe other things coming up here, but that's one of the things that they'll celebrate.
Brian, absolutely. You know, we've tried to be a program that's for each other and play for something bigger than yourself. And if you do that, you know, winning's a byproduct of that, and having to sacrifice. We had so many kids over the years sacrifice, and this team in particular had so many players sacrificed for the betterment of the team, whether it's minutes played or what the style of play may not be best for them, but it's best for our overall program, what we're doing defensively. But, you know, I think what encapsulates our team is Latham. Awesome. Latham's had some unbelievable practices for us, and he's been so good. He's had an impact on some games, but probably not quite the season he would have hoped, you know, on the floor. But, man, I think he'll take some of the good times and the challenges and take him on to his work career. And it's God's good, other things you got to deal with. But he's been so good, and the spirit and the joy, playing for something bigger than himself, just is revigorating me. When I come to practice floor, I really enjoy taking a little time with the guys before we get started stretching and just seeing the juice and what he's done, and a lot of our guys, but in particular. And I think tournament basketball and having those type of things that you can, you know, come back 10, 15 years and celebrate, and at least maybe bring your kids and show.
Yeah.
When we honor that. We're fortunate with Mr. Lawless and Justin, all Smith, all of our former administrators have been poured into us in every sport and academics to honor legacies, and we really value that at Blackman basketball, honoring the former players and the legacy. And Team 26 is hopefully going to do some good things going forward, but if not, they've had a really nice legacy of playing the game the right way and playing for something bigger than themselves.
Barry, you've been involved in basketball how many years here in the county?
Wow. Let's see, this is year 36. Good question. 16 at probably 25, 26 years in the county.
You seem, the reason I ask is you seem just as excited to go to practice and get ready for a game today as you were 10 years ago or 15 years ago.
I do. I love this game.
You're eating up with it, aren't you?
I really love the game. You know, I was fortunate. I had a dad was a high school football and basketball coach. I can remember getting off the bus and going to practice in kindergarten, you know, and then I can remember, you know, when other guys were 5 and 6 years old, I was in a locker room in Gainesville, Georgia. The great Jody Davis, the catcher for the Cubs, hit about a 75-foot shot to beat my dad's high school team. And shoot, I'm in the locker room crying with a bunch of 17-year-olds, and you know, it's just been a part of me all my life, and I love it. And as I say, I don't have much, but everything I owe to this game, and I owe to a lot of kids that have committed, and it's been such a joyride. I don't want it to end. And
no specific names, but there are kids that this is a game that changed their life. Just all of them who play it changes them in some form or fashion, but it might have been something that saved their life, something that forced them to get an education that they didn't think they wanted at the time. Sport does so many things, but we're going to get too philosophical, so I better move on here from that. But basketball is one of those tournament sports, and you want to be playing well this time of the year. You also want to be playing well going into it. I think you've been able to check off those boxes.
For the most part, we really have. We play well, the healthiest we've been. I think our team is right. We've had short, crisp practices. I thought Braden Flowers had his best. His energy is really high, and our guys feed off him and a couple other guys in our team. So, you know, I always tell our team it's good to be excited, but you got to be ready. And I think we got a combination. Our team has got great spirit. They don't want it to end. They're ready. They're focused. We got a lot of our scouting into the game the other night against Stewart's Creek, and our guys were amped that they could do that. So you got a combination of a bunch of guys that don't want it to end, playing with great spirit and joy, playing for each other. So I'm very honest with our guys. I always tell them about the finality of it, you know, and I always tell them about my last game that I ever played in the locker room in Columbus, Ohio, and the fairgrounds, and they sort of laugh, but I want them to know that it does come to an end, and you got to be ready, and you just want to be playing your best basketball and playing have no regrets. And we call sleep in the streets, just be letting it all hang out, and that's what we'll do. And if it ends tonight, we sure don't want it to, but I can say this team is ready to play its best basketball.
We're going to play the Siegel Stars at home, and you all have had some wars with Siegel. One in particular, if you want to talk about a heartbreaking moment for Blackman, may have occurred last year. Yeah.
I got a lot of respect for Siegel. They play defensively. They got a nice scheme, especially in the half court. We'll have to be a little more efficient than we were last time, and we just be honest, we couldn't keep the ball in front of us, and they drove us and were inside us, and I thought we shot balls over the top of the defense with not much purpose. Give credit to them. So this year we were fortunate to come out with a nice win. But yeah, they we haven't lost many regional semi games over the last 16 years, and lost 2, and that one was probably as tough of a loss as we've had. So,
but these kids remember that.
They do, and we talked about it a lot in the preseason, our weight program and conditioning program, and we've let it go since then. But you're right,
sure.
That's one of those games that I always say when I tell the guys when I'm working out and jogging, that's one of the games that comes to my mind. I think it, I don't know about motivation. I think you're self-motivated by wanting to be the very best you can, but it does make sure that we're on razor's edge and know that the game could end just like that. We don't want a locker room that we had last year for sure.
Well, for many of these guys, that is something that they're going to think about maybe when they're stretching today, going through warm-ups or whatnot. One final thing, too, the last time we got to see your team play, I think Jalen had a little injury of some type. Has been able to come back, actually won the MVP of the tournament. So you need that kid to be MVP level, don't you?
Well, he's a talented young man, and he's a very unselfish player, and he makes our team better. Whether it's right or wrong, I just decided about a year and a half ago to play through him, because he makes all of our guys better. And when he's not on the floor, and we missed him for 4 games in 2.5 weeks, and he came back and really did a nice job rehab, and 24 and 12, if I remember, in the Stewart's Creek game, and has played extremely well, and again, it makes everybody else better. So if he plays well, he makes everybody else better, and we need him to be at his best, definitely tonight.
Coach, you are hosting tonight. It's always good to be hosting in this region quarters, and it's the Siegel Stars, and you try to win tonight to move to Tuesday, and so we'll see how that goes for the Blaze. We wish you good luck this evening.
Okay, Ron, thanks so much. We're excited about tonight.
Appreciate it. Barry Wortman joining us this morning here on the Coach's Show, brought to you by Dr. Automotive, the cure for your car, professional auto repair and maintenance from ASE certified mechanics and master mechanics. Check them out online at autorepairsmyrna.com.